Today we're going to talk about exhaust tips. Now, a little bit of comedy in this, because when I told Adam, what do you want to, when he said, wait, what videos you want to do this week? I said, I want to do a video about exhaust tips. And he laughed himself plumb out of his chair. But I'm serious. We're going to do a video about exhaust tips because we do get a lot of returns on exhaust tips, and guys have a lot of questions about exhaust tips. When we're at a show, if people aren't talking to us about shirts, most of the time they're talking to us about exhaust tips. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to give you kind of a rundown of dimensions. I'm going to break it down into kind of 3 different categories, and I'll probably add a category in there, so forget the number. First off, we're going to talk about dimensions. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about how they're made, what the features of them are, and then the third thing that we're going to talk about is the colors or the finish. So we're going to do dimensions, structure, and finish. So first off, let's talk about dimensions. In diesel exhaust tips, you're going to be dealing with either a 4-inch inlet most of the time or a 5-inch inlet most of the time. So that means what size exhaust do you have? 4-inch exhaust, or do you have a 5-inch exhaust? That is because the exhaust tip, what does it do? It connects to the exhaust that you have. So 4-inch and 5-inch, and then the length is something that you'll hear all the time. A lot of the exhaust tips, they'll say they're 12 inches or 15 inches or 18 inches. Now, what is the length? Is the length the amount of exhaust tip, which is what I would call the transition? It's actually the total length of the exhaust tip itself. So this is a Diamond Eye 12-inch tip. This is 12 inches from its longest point. It's 12 inches to its longest point, sorry. So that is really dimensions. 4-inch to 5-inch is your inlet size is your 4-inch or your 5-inch, and then it's 8 or it's 7. We have 4 to 5, we have 4 to 4, we have 4 to 20. We have just a wide range of different dimensions. So if you're wanting something stupid big, more than likely we've probably got it, or one of the manufacturers makes it. Now, let's talk about structure. Structure. You will hear, most of the time, you will hear us talk about either single wall or dual wall. Single wall is exactly that. In the tip, it is actually just one layer or single wall in the tip. So, single wall. That's the best way I can explain it. You'll also hear hear us talk about dual wall. A dual wall tip is single wall at the attachment point of your exhaust, but it's dual wall, meaning it is 2 pieces, or it's 1 piece lapped back over into the inside of the tip. So this is actually dual wall. I like dual wall exhaust. I think it's got a better, meaner look. It's a personal thing. I'm really a fan of dual wall. A lot of guys tell you get a different tone from dual wall. I'm not the guy to tell you that. I don't think there's a difference in it. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I haven't heard it. Now, in structure, I'm going to also talk to you about how it attaches to your exhaust. We have really basically 2 different categories of how these tips attach to your exhaust. They're either bolt-on. So if you hear us talk about bolt-on, they will actually come with the bolt already in the kit that will attach it to your exhaust, and you can see that as you clamp this down, as you tighten this up, this will actually clamp around your exhaust, and that will be how it attaches to your exhaust. So that's bolt-on. We also have weld-on tips, which I thought I brought one, and looks like I did not. Yes, I did. We have weld-on or clamp-on tips. Now, a couple of different things with these. A weld-on tip won't be cut. You will have to actually weld it to your exhaust. Okay, or you can buy a clamp, and you can actually clamp this to your exhaust, an external clamp. Most of the time, if it's a weld-on clamp-on tip, some manufacturers, they don't send a clamp with them, so if you need a clamp, let us know on that. And then in structure, we can also talk about angle cut and straight cut. I do not have an example of a straight cut out of all of these, but I'll talk to you about angle cut. Angle cut, when they're talking about angle cut on the exhaust tips themselves, you can see that that is cut actually at a slant or a slash, so that is angle cut when they talk about angle cut. When they talk about rolled end, I'll show you the difference between a rolled end and a non-rolled end. This is a non-rolled end, so the end of this exhaust tip is actually just kind of a razor edge. It's single edge. Your rolled ends are rolled over on the end, and it is also a look and a function thing, because this is not nearly as sharp. If you brush against a rolled end you brush against this with your leg and you got a pair of shorts on, pretty good chance it's not going to feel too good. Rolled end, you brush against that with a pair of shorts on, probably not going to hurt you. So that's rolled end, which is what you hear quite a bit. So we talked about dual wall, we talked about single wall, talked about rolled end, we talked about angle cut. We also sell turn down exhaust tips. A turn down is to divert the exhaust away from your truck. If your exhaust is actually leaving a soot trail on your truck and you're wanting to get away from that, you can go with your turn down tip, or you can turn it up and blow it right straight up in the air, whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you. Now we're going to talk about finish. Most of these tips are stainless steel tips, and then obviously they're going to be polished. You can get some of the tips from some manufacturers are actually a black chrome, I think, Adam, isn't that right? It's like a black chrome. Most of them are, when they do the black, they do them in a powder coat. This is a high temp powder coat. Most all of the manufacturers that we offer a powder coat in, they're very durable. You don't have to worry about rocks chipping on them and whatnot. There's some cases of that, obviously, but for the most part, we don't hear a whole lot about it. So really, it's two ways that we offer right now. We either offer the black or we offer the chrome appearing finish is what you get. So as far as the tips go, there's a lot of different options that you've got. On our website, we try to do the best to explain to you what each and every tip is. So if you see a tip now and the dimensions on it are, say, 4 by 5 by 12, you know what we're talking about. Also, some of the manufacturers do really well with their part numbers. Let me grab this box here. Some of the manufacturers do really well with their part numbers, and they actually call out all of the attributes in the exhaust tips in the part number. Now, like the part number for this is a diamond eye tip. This is a 4512 BAC part number on this tip. So that's a 4-inch to 5-inch, 12-inch in length, angle cut, black. No, it's not. Bolt-on. I'm sorry. There you go. 4-inch to 5-inch, 12 inches in length, bolt-on, angle cut, diamond eye. There you go. So that's how that breaks down. Now, some of the manufacturers don't have that in their part numbers. It's just simply T whatever. So you can look for the data that you need in the part numbers, or look on our website, and we should be able to give you a good breakdown in it. So if you have a question on exhaust tips or any of our other products, please give us a call. Thank you.